Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Dear HR Insider, where we take your real workplace questions and get expert insights from our HR pros. Today's question hits on something we hear a lot from employers, especially in competitive job markets. So I've invited our HR expert, Lisa Cooper, in to help us unpack it. So Lisa, here's today's question. We are losing our top talent to a competitor just down the street. We don't pay as much as they do, but our benefits are really fantastic. I just don't think our employees understand how much we've invested in them and our employee benefits program. What can we do? So I think this is a tough spot. When you know your total rewards package is great, but people focus on just the salary. So Lisa, how can organizations help employees truly see the value of what they're getting?
Yeah, it's a great question. And you're right, it is one that we get all the time. And employers genuinely want to take good care of their employees, but there's a lot of things that happen underneath the surface that our employees might not realize that we're investing in. So it's really important that we start by explaining to them what the full story is and making sure we're very intentional about the communication that we share in terms of the added benefits that we offer, the additional costs that the employer invests in on behalf of its employees. In the absence of information, we as humans naturally will make it up and we'll probably assume the worst. So if we don't tell people, we're missing a huge opportunity to celebrate some big wins and help keep them informed as to what their benefits really entail. So, we may want to say things like this at open enrollment, upon hiring. We make a $10,000 or $12,000 investment every year into your healthcare costs, right? Into your 401k or other type of retirement plan. It's really important to articulate in terms of dollars and cents what that take-home implication can really be. I like to use a total reward statement. This is something that we were just working on for one of our clients, and I'd love to share with you an example of one. But this doesn't just tell me as the employee, what's my take-home pay in terms of what hits my bank account on Friday when my paycheck hits, but it also talks about what's the value of my holiday pay? What's the value of my other benefit, my health, my dental, my vision, my life insurance, my long and short-term disability, anything that you might be paying for. How much are you contributing to my HSA or to my 401k or 457 plan? Are you helping to fund my education through tuition forgiveness or reimbursement? Are you making a monetary contribution to a nonprofit on our behalf? There's lots of different things that you can do here. And of course, there's those mandated benefits like taxes and things like that we as employers pay into. But all of a sudden, this employee thinks they're making about 75 grand a year. And then they realize when you add in all the other stuff, they're making 112. And so it's really a different perspective when you can paint that full, complete picture. And I love using things like this, not just at the end of the year to show someone, hey, based on your new salary adjustment, here's where you're landing. But I like to show them this as I'm making an offer and including something like this in my offer letter so people can really compare apples to apples and they can see what a competitive offer that we might be bringing them for. I think it's important also not to just talk about this one time a year at open enrollment or when people are signing up for benefits for the first time, but it's in something that we need to keep discussing year over year, month over month over month, right? I think it's really a critical time to make sure employees understand the value of their benefits, but also how to use those benefits. I remember when HSAs and HRAs were very new on the scene and nobody really understood how they work, right? FSAs are something that people still sometimes get confused about. So making sure it's part of your continuous dialogue, whether you're putting out your intranet site, you're doing an old school paycheck stuffer, you're talking about it in your all hands, you're educating managers and leaders about how to have these conversations with their employees so they can be first line of defense, perhaps. Not that we expect managers to be benefit experts, but they might be able to answer some basic questions as well, or at least point employees in the right direction on where to get more information. We love partnering with our friends over at insurance brokerages and agencies that help us educate our employees on the richness and how to take advantage of our employee benefits plan as well. So don't feel like, again, you've got to be the expert because there's great partners that will walk alongside you in helping your employees understand the true value of all that you're bringing to them. So if you don't have a great employee benefits agent, it's time that you get one. Give me a call. I introduce you to some folks that I know that do really, really great work in this space. That we know and trust to take really good care of employers and their employees. So lots of different things that we can do there to help employees understand the true value of their benefit plan.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful. And thank you for sharing those insights. I like that you're hitting on how often to communicate, because that communication is just as important as compensation in the world of work. So thank you for joining us for another Dear HR Insider, Lisa. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for watching Dear HR Insider. If you have a workplace or an HR question that you'd like answered, don't forget to send it over to us through our Dear HR Insider form, and your question might be answered in a featured upcoming episode. Don't forget to follow along with Cooper People Group on LinkedIn and Facebook for more HR insights and publications. We'll see you next time, everyone.